In the wildest corners of our planet, power is not worn as a crown, nor wielded by a single monarch. Instead, it is a fragile, ever-evolving equilibrium, an intricate dance of countless lives, each shaping and being shaped by the world around them. Each dawn on the Savannah signals a silent negotiation. Predators and prey, giants and the nearly invisible all play their part in a drama older than memory. The watering hole becomes a stage where every movement is measured, every glance a calculation of risk and reward. From the sun-drenched grasslands of Africa, where golden light reveals the secrets of survival, to the emerald labyrinths of the Amazon and the mist-veiled jungles of Southeast Asia, life flourishes in a tapestry of strength, ingenuity, and subtle alliances. Each ecosystem is a living mosaic, its patterns shaped by the creatures that call it home. In Africa, the lion's thunderous roar and the hyena's eerie cackle ripple across the plains, each species vying for influence. Yet it is the silent titans, elephants and buffalo, who shape the land itself. With every migration, they carve new trails, open waterholes, and create opportunities for life to flourish in their wake. The balance of power is not brute force alone, but the ability to transform the very earth beneath their feet. Deep in the Amazon, the jaguar glides through the shadows, its presence felt more than seen. Below, armies of ants reshape the forest floor, their living bridges spanning gaps in the undergrowth. In the murky rivers, piranhas strike with lightning speed, their movements invisible until the very last moment. Here, dominance is measured not by size, but by adaptability and relentless persistence. In the rainforests of Borneo and Sumatra, life unfolds in the heights. Orangutans, the architects of the canopy, bend and weave branches to create nests that cradle them above the dangers below. Sumatran tigers, masters of stealth, slip through the undergrowth, their stripes dissolving into the dappled light. Clouded leopards, with their remarkable agility, descend trees head first, their flexible ankles granting them access to realms few others dare to explore. The true sovereigns of the wild are not always the most powerful, but those who adapt, remember, and unite. Elephants communicate across vast distances with low-frequency rumbles, their memories guiding herds to water in times of drought. Chimpanzees pass wisdom from one generation to the next, teaching the young to use tools and solve problems. Even the smallest birds, when threatened, band together in a flurry of wings to drive away predators many times their size. Yet these ancient webs of life now face a new and silent adversary. The loss of a single tree, the drying of a river, or the fading of a grassland sends ripples through the entire system. The scars of change are subtle, tracks erased beneath fallen leaves, wounds hidden in the bark of trees, but their impact is profound, threatening the balance that has endured for millennia. To truly grasp what is at stake, we must look deeper, into the eyes of those who wear the unseen crowns of the wild. In their gaze lies the wisdom of ages, the resilience of survivors, and the delicate, ancient power that sustains the living world. Their stories are written not in words, but in every silent glance, every cautious step, every heartbeat echoing through the wilderness. Beneath the vast golden expanse of the African savanna, a silent drama unfolds each day, a realm where the balance of power is as fluid as the wind that sweeps across the grasslands. Here the sun's descent casts long shadows over a living tapestry woven from the ambitions, instincts, and ancient rivalries of countless creatures. The savanna is not merely a stage for survival, but a dynamic kingdom where every heartbeat, every footfall, and every decision can tip the scales of fate. At the core of this shifting domain, lions command respect as apex predators. Their society is a complex web of relationships, where each pride is a family bound by blood and necessity. Lionesses, the true strategists, move with silent precision through the tall grass, their golden coats blending seamlessly with the landscape. They communicate with subtle glances and tail flicks, orchestrating ambushes that rely on trust and timing. Meanwhile, the pride's males patrol the borders, their roars echoing across the plains, a warning to rivals and a reassurance to kin. Yet even the mightiest pride is vulnerable. A single misstep can mean hunger, or the loss of territory to ambitious outsiders. In the shadows, the spotted hyenas plot their own ascendancy. Their clans, ruled by formidable matriarchs, are societies built on discipline and cunning. Each member knows its place, from the high-ranking females who dictate the feast, to the eager cubs absorbing lessons in survival. Hyenas are masters of adaptation, capable of running down prey with relentless stamina or seizing opportunities at the fringes of a lion's kill. Their eerie calls ripple through the night, a language of challenge and coordination as they test the resolve of their feline rivals and exploit every weakness. As darkness envelops the savannah, the air thickens with anticipation. Under the pale gaze of the moon, lions and hyenas become shadows, circling, posturing, reading the subtlest cues in each other's movements. These nocturnal encounters are chess matches played in silence and sudden violence, where alliances may form and dissolve in the blink of an eye. The outcome is never certain. A single miscalculation can turn hunter into hunted, and the victor may claim not just a meal, but a shift in the balance of power. Yet the predators are not the only architects of this ever-changing order. The herbivores, wildebeest, zebras, impalas and gazelles move as living rivers across the plains. Their migrations are epic journeys, dictated by the rhythm of the rains and the promise of fresh grazing. Each herd is a fortress of eyes and ears, where vigilance is the currency of survival. The thunder of hooves signals both opportunity and peril as predators shadow their movements, and the landscape itself is transformed by their passage. Among the most formidable of the savannah's defenders are the Cape buffalo. Their herds are fortresses in motion, each member attuned to the slightest sign of danger. When threatened, they form impenetrable circles, calves shielded at the core, while adults face outward, horns lowered, eyes blazing with defiance. A charging buffalo is a force of nature, capable of scattering lions and rewriting the rules of engagement in an instant. The dust they raise is a testament to their unity and their will to protect the next generation. On the fringes, solitary old bulls, dagger boys, roam with a different kind of authority. Scarred by years of conflict, they are unpredictable and fiercely independent. Their tempers are legendary, and their presence alone can alter the course of a predator's hunt. Some have been known to seek out confrontation, their battered hides bearing witness to countless battles for survival. Towering above all, the elephants move with a quiet majesty. Their herds are matriarchal dynasties, guided by the wisdom of the eldest females. Each wrinkle and scar tells a story of droughts endured, dangers faced, and paths remembered. The matriarch's memory is a living map, leading her family to hidden waterholes and safe havens. Young elephants learn by imitation, their playful antics a rehearsal for the challenges that lie ahead. With every step, elephants reshape the land, toppling trees, carving trails, and opening new spaces for life to flourish. By digging for water and dispersing seeds, elephants become the architects of abundance. Their actions ripple outward, sustaining not only their own kind, but countless others, birds, insects and mammals drawn to the resources they uncover. A single waterhole created by an elephant's persistence can become a lifeline for an entire community during the harshest dry seasons. The influence of elephants is etched into the very fabric of the savanna. Their trails wind like arteries through the grasslands, connecting distant water sources and shaping the movement of herds. Over generations, their presence sculpts the landscape, ensuring that the savanna remains a mosaic of habitats, each supporting its own web of life. Power here is never static. It is a living contest, a ceaseless negotiation between strength, intelligence, and adaptability. Lions and hyenas clash over the spoils of a hunt, while jackals and vultures wait in the wings, ready to claim what remains. Each species, from the smallest scavenger to the mightiest predator, plays a role in the grand cycle, ensuring that nothing is wasted and that life persists in even the harshest times. As the sun dips below the horizon, the savanna holds its breath. Dusk is a time of reckoning, when old alliances are tested and new rivalries ignite. The air shimmers with tension, every movement watched, every sound analyzed. In this world, the throne is never truly claimed. It is borrowed, held only as long as its occupant can defend it against the ambitions of others. Ultimately, the true rulers of the savanna are not those who dominate by force, but those who nurture and sustain its intricate web of life. Giraffes stretch for the highest leaves, warthogs root in the earth, and flocks of birds rise in swirling clouds, each species contributing to the balance and beauty of this ever-evolving kingdom. On these shifting thrones, survival is not just a matter of strength, but of harmony with the land and with each other. In the relentless heart of the African savanna, survival is a daily negotiation with extremes. Here the land is sculpted by the sun's unyielding glare, and every living thing is shaped by the demands of this unforgiving environment. Scorching days parch the land, drawing moisture from the soil and withering vegetation. Animals must adapt to searing heat, scarce water, and unpredictable rainfall. Many species have evolved to be most active during the cooler dawn and dusk hours, minimizing exposure to the midday sun. Leopards, masters of concealment, exploit the sparse shade cast by acacia trees. Their spotted coats blend seamlessly with dappled light, and their powerful limbs allow them to hoist prey into the safety of branches. This not only protects their meal from scavengers, but also shields it from the relentless heat, slowing decay and preserving precious resources. African wild dogs thrive through intricate teamwork. Their coordinated hunts rely on complex vocalizations and body language, allowing them to outmaneuver prey across vast distances. After a chase, they retreat to the shade, panting rapidly to dissipate heat and sharing food among the pack to ensure the survival of even the weakest members. For zebras and wildebeest, survival hinges on migration. These herds traverse ancient routes, guided by instinct and memory in search of dwindling water sources. At waterholes, vigilance is paramount. Predators lurk nearby, and the competition for water is fierce. The sheer number of animals creates confusion, offering some protection from attack, but also intensifying the struggle for every drop. Impalas rely on explosive speed and agility. Their powerful legs propel them in high, unpredictable leaps, making them difficult targets for predators. Camouflage is equally vital. Their tawny coats blend with the sun-bleached grass, and their acute senses keep them alert to the faintest rustle or shadow. Elephants and buffalo draw on collective memory, passing down knowledge of hidden waterholes and safe passages. Matriarchs lead their herds along routes remembered from years of hardship, navigating cracked riverbeds and barren plains. The scars of past droughts are etched into the landscape. Scattered bones and dry channels serve as stark reminders of nature's harsh cycles. Here, learning is vital. Youngsters observe and imitate their elders, acquiring the skills needed to endure the savanna's unforgiving cycles. From recognizing edible plants to interpreting subtle cues of danger, survival is a lesson taught by experience and reinforced by necessity. Interdependence flourishes in these sunburnt lands. Species form unlikely alliances. Birds like oxpeckers remove parasites from the hides of buffalo and antelope, while herds of different species graze together, increasing vigilance and reducing individual risk. Each interaction strengthens the web of survival, where cooperation can mean the difference between life and death. Predators and prey alike must balance risk and reward. Lions and hyenas compete fiercely for territory and food, while cheetahs rely on bursts of speed to secure a meal, then retreat to the shade to recover. Every decision, when to hunt, where to rest, how to avoid confrontation, is shaped by the harsh realities of heat, hunger, and competition. In the sunburnt lands, intelligence, memory, and adaptability are the true keys to survival. Each day is a testament to nature's resilience and ingenuity, as every creature, great and small, navigates the delicate balance between endurance and opportunity, awaiting the promise of rain and the renewal it brings. Beneath the emerald canopy of the Amazon, a labyrinth of rivers and streams carves through the dense jungle, weaving a world where water and shadow are inseparable. Here, sunlight filters through layers of foliage, casting shifting patterns on the surface below, while the air hums with the quiet pulse of life hidden in the gloom. Jaguars, cloaked in dappled gold and black, slip silently between the tangled roots and the river's edge. Their movements are a masterclass in patience and precision, as they stalk prey both on land and in the water, vanishing into the undergrowth with barely a ripple or a whisper. Green anacondas, the silent giants of the wetlands, coil beneath floating mats of vegetation, their scales blending seamlessly with the shadows. Black caimans, ancient and watchful, drift just beneath the surface, their eyes glinting above the waterline as they scan for the faintest tremor of life. In the murky depths, electric eels glide with an eerie grace, their slender bodies undulating through the silt-laden currents. With a sudden surge, they unleash powerful bursts of electricity, momentarily illuminating the darkness and stunning their prey in a flash of invisible energy. Piranhas, ever alert, dart through the clear shallows in tightly coordinated schools. Their jaws snap with astonishing speed, razor-sharp teeth flashing as they strip flesh from bone in a matter of seconds, ensuring that nothing in the river goes to waste. Giant otters, sleek and powerful, move as a single unit through the winding channels. Their playful calls echo across the water as they hunt in perfect harmony, weaving between submerged logs and tangled roots, outmaneuvering even the most formidable predators with their speed and intelligence. Along the ever-shifting banks, a mosaic of life gathers. Capybaras graze on tender shoots, herons stalk the shallows, and turtles bask on sunlit logs. Each species is finely tuned to the delicate balance of light and darkness, water and earth, adapting to the river's constant transformation. The river's corridors pulse with activity, predators and prey, rivals and allies, all entwined in a ceaseless struggle for survival. Every moment is a contest of senses, reflexes and instinct, as the rainforest's inhabitants navigate a world where danger and opportunity are never far apart. Even the tiniest creatures, darting frogs, industrious ants, and iridescent insects, play their part in this intricate web. They traverse the forest floor and the leafy canopy, their lives dictated by the rhythm of rainfall, the shelter of shadows, and the ever-present flow of water. In this world, sculpted by water and shadow, power is fluid, rising and falling with the tides, shifting with the seasons, and forever shaped by the interplay of light, darkness, and the relentless pulse of the Amazon. In the Amazon, the smallest inhabitants are the silent engineers of the forest's destiny. Beneath the towering trees and tangled vines, legions of insects and invertebrates orchestrate the cycles of life, their presence felt in every inch of the emerald labyrinth. Leafcutter ants, among the most sophisticated of all social insects, construct sprawling subterranean cities. Their colonies can number in the millions, with each ant performing a specialized role. They harvest fragments of leaves, not for direct consumption, but as a substrate to cultivate a unique fungus, their sole food source. This agricultural system not only nourishes the colony but also aerates the soil, recycles organic matter, and enriches the forest floor, supporting the growth of countless plant species. Army ants, relentless and nomadic, move as a single, coordinated force. Their columns sweep across the forest floor, consuming nearly everything in their path. Arthropods, small reptiles, even the eggs of other insects. Their raids are so influential that entire communities of birds and mammals follow in their wake, feeding on the creatures flushed out by the advancing swarm. Army ants reshape the ecosystem, clearing detritus and opening space for regeneration. The power of these superorganisms lies in their unity. Weaver ants, for instance, display remarkable cooperation, weaving leaves together with silk produced by their larvae to create suspended nests. Their colonies defend vast territories, using coordinated attacks and chemical signals to repel intruders. This collective intelligence allows them to dominate the canopy, influencing which plants thrive and which are suppressed. The Amazon's intricate web of life is sustained by complex interdependencies. The Brazil nut tree, a giant among giants, depends exclusively on the orchid bee for pollination. These bees, drawn by the tree's elusive scent, are strong enough to pry open the flower's tough petals. Once pollinated, the tree produces massive pods, which only the powerful jaws of the agouti can open. As agoutis bury seeds for later, they inadvertently plant the next generation of trees, ensuring the continuity of the forest. The fall of a single tree sends ripples through the ecosystem. Sunlight pierces the canopy, triggering a surge of new growth. Fungi and beetles swarm to decompose the wood, recycling nutrients back into the soil. Ants and other decomposers break down organic matter, maintaining the delicate balance of nutrients essential for the forest's renewal. Each fallen giant becomes a nursery for seedlings, a haven for invertebrates, and a catalyst for change. Mutualism is the currency of survival. Ants protect aphids from predators in exchange for nutrient-rich honeydew. Butterflies gather vital minerals from the forest floor, aiding in their reproduction and dispersal. Frogs find sanctuary in the water-filled leaves of bromeliads, while birds and mammals disperse seeds as they feed, weaving a tapestry of interdependence that sustains the entire ecosystem. The forest's true strength lies in its connectivity. Mycorrhizal fungi form vast underground networks, linking the roots of distant trees and facilitating the exchange of water, nutrients, and chemical signals. Epiphytes cling to ancient branches, drawing moisture from the air and providing shelter for countless species. Spider webs, strung between leaves, capture both prey and morning dew, each thread a testament to the complexity of life here. Every creature, from the stealthy jaguar to the industrious ant, from the harpy eagle gliding above the canopy to the poison dart frog nestled in moss, is a vital participant in this living mosaic. Each species, no matter its size, is both a beneficiary and a contributor to the forest's enduring balance. In the Amazon, complexity is the ultimate power. Here, the true rulers are not individuals, but the intricate, interwoven relationships that bind every organism to the next. This ever-evolving masterpiece is shaped by the unseen labour of millions, each thread essential to the resilience and grandeur of the Emerald Labyrinth. High above the dim, tangled forest floor of Borneo and Sumatra, a vast, layered world unfolds, a vertical kingdom where sunlight filters through a mosaic of emerald leaves, painting shifting patterns on the ground far below. Here, the air is thick with the scent of moss and orchids, and every level of the forest teems with life, each tier a distinct realm with its own challenges and rewards. Orangutans, the undisputed giants of the treetops, move with deliberate grace through this living labyrinth. Their immense arms span the gaps between branches, and their powerful fingers curl around bark slick with rain. Each step is calculated, each leap a testament to years of observation and imitation, as mothers patiently teach their young the subtle art of survival in a world where a single misstep can mean disaster. Their minds are as agile as their bodies. Orangutans memorize the shifting locations of fruiting trees, recall the safest routes through the ever-changing canopy, and use sticks to extract insects or honey from hidden crevices. Their intelligence is a vital tool, allowing them to adapt to the unpredictable rhythms of the rainforest. In the shadowy underlayers, Sumatran tigers prowl with silent determination, their striped coats blending seamlessly with shafts of sunlight and shadow. Above them, clouded leopards, masters of vertical hunting, scale tree trunks with astonishing agility, their flexible ankles and long tails granting them balance as they stalk prey among the branches, rarely touching the ground. Sun bears, the smallest of their kind, are equipped with formidable, sickle-shaped claws that tear through bark and wood. Their elongated tongues, reaching up to 25 centimetres, probe deep into crevices for honey, termites, and beetle larvae. With a sense of smell far keener than their eyesight, they locate hidden food sources that few others can exploit, leaving behind distinctive claw marks as evidence of their passage. Proboscis monkeys, with their comically large noses and pot-bellied forms, feast on leaves laced with bitter toxins. Their multi-chambered stomachs, filled with specialized bacteria, break down these tough meals, allowing them to thrive where others would falter. On the forest floor, the elusive sunder pangolin, armoured in overlapping keratin scales, forages for ants and termites. At the slightest hint of danger, it curls into a near-impenetrable ball, its scales forming a shield against even the most determined predators. Every creature, from the tiniest tree frog clinging to a leaf to the rarest flying squirrel gliding between trunks, occupies a niche carved by millennia of competition. Some, like the gliding colugo, stretch skin membranes to soar silently from tree to tree, while others, such as the minuscule pygmy squirrel, dart through the undergrowth, evading predators with lightning speed. The uppermost canopy is a realm of perpetual motion. Here, gibbons launch themselves in breathtaking arcs, their long arms propelling them up to 15 meters in a single swing. Birds of paradise display vibrant plumage in sunlit clearings, while hornbills patrol the heights, their massive bills cracking open fruit and scattering seeds far and wide. Ingenious adaptations abound. Prehensile tails act as fifth limbs, gripping branches with unyielding strength. Specialized limbs, like the double-jointed ankles of clouded leopards or the webbed feet of tree frogs, allow for feats of balance and movement impossible elsewhere. Acute senses, night vision, echolocation, and hypersensitive whiskers help animals navigate the dense, shadowy maze. In this vertical kingdom, every adaptation is a story of survival. Evolution rewards the inventive and the agile, those who can leap, glide, or climb to claim the riches hidden in the heights. Here, life is a constant contest, and only those who master the secrets of the canopy can truly reign above the shadows. Across continents and climates, a remarkable cast of animals quietly shapes the very foundation of their ecosystems. These are nature's master engineers, creatures whose daily actions determine the fate of entire landscapes, often unnoticed yet utterly indispensable. In the heart of the African savanna, the African elephant stands as a living force of transformation. With powerful tusks and an uncanny memory for hidden water, elephants carve deep channels into sun-baked riverbeds. As water seeps to the surface, a lifeline emerges, not just for the herd, but for a multitude of species drawn to the oasis. Zebras, antelope, and countless birds gather, their survival tethered to the elephant's ingenuity. Yet the elephant's influence extends far beyond water. Each step leaves behind nutrient-rich dung, a microcosm of life. Dung beetles swarm, breaking down the waste and returning vital minerals to the earth. In the wake of this process, new grasses and wildflowers burst forth, rejuvenating the soil and setting the stage for the next generation of grazers. Deep within the emerald labyrinth of the Amazon, another architect thrives, the leafcutter ant. These tiny labourers march in endless columns, harvesting fragments of leaves many times their own weight. But they do not eat the leaves. Instead, they carry them underground, where they cultivate vast fungus gardens. This symbiotic relationship not only feeds the colony, but also aerates the soil, breaks down organic matter, and accelerates the cycling of nutrients throughout the rainforest. The collective effort of millions of ants leaves a visible mark on the forest floor. Networks of cleared trails and mounds alter the flow of water and nutrients, subtly shifting the patterns of vegetation above. Over time, these changes ripple outward, influencing which plants thrive and which fade, all orchestrated by the relentless industry of the colony. In the lush rainforests of Southeast Asia, the hornbill and the flying fox take on the mantle of renewal. Hornbills, with their powerful beaks, pluck fruits from the canopy, swallowing seeds whole and carrying them far from the parent tree. As they travel, they deposit these seeds in new locations, giving rise to future forests. At dusk, flying foxes emerge, their wings casting shadows across the treetops. As they feed on nectar and fruit, they pollinate blossoms and scatter seeds, ensuring genetic diversity and the continual regeneration of the forest. Each of these architects, from the colossal elephant to the tireless ant and the far-ranging hornbill and bat, is woven into the fabric of their environment. Their actions are precise, purposeful, and deeply interconnected, forming the living tapestry that sustains the world's great forests. Remove these engineers, and the consequences are immediate and profound. Waterholes dry up, soils lose their fertility, and forests become silent, their diversity diminished. The pulse of life slows, and the resilience of the ecosystem begins to unravel. But where these animals persist, their influence radiates outward. Saplings take root in rich soil, fungi flourish beneath the surface, and new generations of trees rise toward the sun. The landscape is transformed, not by chance, but by the deliberate daily labour of its animal architects. In the golden light of dawn and dusk, these silent engineers move through their domains, forging the resilience and beauty of the world's forests. Their legacy is written in every thriving tree, every flowing stream, and every chorus of life that echoes through the wild. Across continents, the wildest frontiers now bear the subtle yet profound imprint of human presence, an influence that seeps into every corner, shaping the fate of landscapes and the creatures within them, even where no human foot has trodden. Once continuous rainforests are now splintered into isolated fragments, their ancient trees toppled to make way for endless rows of crops and grazing pastures. The relentless transformation of wilderness into farmland accelerates, leaving behind only scattered remnants of the original thriving ecosystem. Savannas, once stretching unbroken to the horizon, are now dissected by a latticework of roads, fences and settlements. These barriers fracture the land, forcing wildlife to navigate a labyrinth of altered terrain, where every journey is fraught with new dangers and uncertainty. For the great icons of the wild, orangutans swinging through dwindling canopies, tigers stalking the shadows of shrinking jungles, leopards slipping silently along forest edges, and elephants pausing at the margins of fragmented woodlands. Each day brings a new struggle. Their territories, once vast and interconnected, have become perilously small and isolated. Many creatures now find themselves stranded in shrinking refuges, tiny islands of green adrift in a sea of change. Cut off from vital resources and the genetic lifeblood of neighbouring populations, they become increasingly vulnerable to disease, inbreeding, and the slow erosion of their resilience. The relentless march of climate change intensifies these pressures. Rainfall patterns shift unpredictably, rivers dwindle to cracked beds, and waterholes recede into memory. Animals, driven by thirst and hunger, are compelled to embark on ever longer migrations, traversing unfamiliar and often hostile terrain in search of survival. Under the unyielding sun, many species are pushed to the brink of their endurance. Antelope collapse in exhaustion, primates huddle in the scant shade of vanishing forests, and predators prowl the perimeters of shrinking waterholes, all locked in a desperate search for sustenance. Yet, even as habitats dwindle, another threat looms. The relentless pursuit of profit drives poachers to target the most vulnerable: elephants for their ivory, tigers for their pelts, pangolins for their scales. Each loss reverberates through the ecosystem, weakening the intricate bonds that sustain life. The survivors adapt in remarkable ways, altering migration routes, shifting to nocturnal habits, and developing heightened wariness. Yet these adaptations come at a steep cost, draining energy, reducing reproductive success, and leaving populations ever more fragile. Pollution, silent and insidious, infiltrates every habitat. Mercury seeps into rivers, poisoning fish and the predators that rely on them. Plastics drift through forests, entangling and choking the unwary. Toxins accumulate in the bodies of both hunter and hunted, unraveling the delicate balance of entire food webs. The ancient equilibrium between species and their environment is unraveling at a pace never before witnessed. Seasons blur in rapid succession, forests wilt and grasslands recede, sending shockwaves through every layer of the ecosystem. Every act, whether the felling of a single tree or the draining of a wetland, reshapes the destiny of countless creatures. Some are forced to adapt, others to migrate, and many to vanish forever. Yet, even as the crisis deepens, a glimmer of hope remains. The future of these wild realms depends on our willingness to act. Through urgent, united efforts, we can mend the web of life, restore lost habitats, and ensure that the shadow of humanity becomes a force for renewal, a legacy of hope, not destruction. Across the boundless Savannah, we have observed the unyielding rivalry between lions and hyenas, each encounter a vivid illustration of nature's relentless drive for survival. These apex predators, with their finely tuned instincts and social strategies, embody the raw resilience and adaptability that define the wild. Every calculated move, every tense standoff is a testament to the intricate balance that governs life on these ancient plains. Elephants, the architects of the Savannah, traverse the land with silent wisdom. Their immense presence shapes the very landscape, uprooting trees, carving waterholes, and dispersing seeds that foster new growth. Through their daily migrations, they nurture the delicate equilibrium of their ecosystem, ensuring that grasslands regenerate and water sources remain accessible for countless other species. In the rainforests of the Amazon and Southeast Asia, a breathtaking tapestry of life unfolds. Towering trees form a living canopy, sheltering an astonishing diversity of flora and fauna. Each leaf, each branch supports a multitude of organisms, from vibrant birds and elusive mammals to intricate networks of insects and fungi. Here, the cycle of life is ceaseless, with every organism playing a role in the complex web of survival and renewal. True strength in these wild realms is not measured by dominance, but by the harmony of coexistence. Herds of antelope graze alongside zebras, while birds and mammals share the bounty of the forest. Adaptation and interdependence are the cornerstones of survival, as each species finds its niche and contributes to the intricate connections that sustain all life. These wild landscapes are the lungs and lifeblood of our planet. Rainforests generate oxygen and filter the air, while savannas store carbon and regulate the climate. Rivers born in these ecosystems provide pure water, nourishing both wildlife and distant lands. The stability of our global environment depends on the health and vitality of these irreplaceable habitats. Within the depths of these forests and grasslands lie the secrets of evolution. Rare plants, some yet undiscovered, hold the promise of new medicines and scientific breakthroughs. The dazzling array of wildlife, from the tiniest insects to the most elusive predators, tells the enduring story of adaptation, resilience and survival against all odds. Yet these sanctuaries now stand at a critical crossroads. Pristine wilderness is increasingly threatened by deforestation, habitat fragmentation, and the encroachment of human activity. The shadows of loss and irreversible change creep ever closer, placing countless species and entire ecosystems at risk. The fate of these landscapes is shaped by the choices we make as stewards of the earth. Our resolve to protect, restore, and sustainably manage these environments will determine whether they continue to thrive or fade into memory. Every action, from preserving ancient forests to restoring degraded grasslands has a profound impact on the future of our planet. Across the globe, nature reveals its extraordinary capacity for renewal. In areas where habitats have been restored, wildlife returns, herds of grazers reclaim grasslands, birdsong fills the air, and forests once stripped bare now teem with life. These scenes of recovery are powerful reminders of what is possible when ecosystems are given the chance to heal. Conservation efforts, bold protection, and sustainable choices are the keys to safeguarding these wonders. Protected areas serve as sanctuaries for endangered species, while innovative management practices help restore balance and resilience to fragile ecosystems. Each success story is a testament to the power of collective action and scientific stewardship. With each new dawn, hope is rekindled. The awakening of the rainforest and the stirring of life on the savanna signal a renewed commitment to the wild, a promise to defend the future these landscapes hold for all living things. The jaguar, silent and powerful, moves through the emerald shadows of the rainforest. As a top predator, it maintains the balance of its domain, embodying the spirit of resilience and the enduring mystery of the wild. From the mighty elephant shaping the savanna to the smallest ant engineering the forest floor, every creature plays a vital role in the grand design of life. Their interactions, both seen and unseen, weave the fabric of thriving ecosystems. The savanna and the rainforest, distinct yet interconnected, remind us that the fate of one is inseparable from the fate of all. The health of these ecosystems is a reflection of the planet's overall well-being. Let us rise as guardians, forging a legacy of protection and renewal. By nurturing new growth and safeguarding what remains, we ensure that future generations inherit a world rich in wonder and possibility. The wild endures, resilient, magnificent, and ever-evolving. This is a world worth saving, for in its survival we secure not only the future of countless species, but hope for our own. As the golden sun dips below the horizon, the savanna undergoes a profound transformation. The last rays of daylight ignite the sky in a blaze of orange and crimson, signalling the end of one world and the awakening of another. Shadows lengthen and merge, draping the plains in a tapestry of indigo and silver. The grasses shimmer under the first touch of moonlight, concealing secrets in their swaying blades. This is the hour of the unseen, the dominion of nocturnal predators whose existence is woven into the fabric of darkness and silence. Here every movement is calculated, every breath a whisper in the cool night air. As nightfall deepens, the savanna is reborn. Familiar shapes dissolve into shadow, and the landscape becomes a realm of anticipation and hidden drama. The air cools rapidly, carrying with it the sharp tang of earth and foliage. Every subtle rustle in the grass hints at life stirring beneath the surface, alert and unseen. Out of the blackness, the leopard emerges, a silent apparition among the acacia branches. Its rosetted coat, dappled by moonbeams, renders it nearly invisible as it surveys the world below. Each step is a masterclass in stealth. Muscles ripple beneath its fur as it glides through the undergrowth, eyes fixed on the faintest sign of movement. The leopard's patience is legendary, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. On the ground, the spotted hyena materializes from the gloom. Its distinctive silhouette is crowned by powerful jaws and keen, ever-alert ears, while its haunting laughter drifts across the plains, a signal to its clan. Far from mere scavengers, hyenas are formidable hunters. They move with purpose, communicating through subtle vocalizations and body language, orchestrating complex group tactics to corner and exhaust their prey. Their eyes, adapted to the faintest glimmer, pierce the darkness. Every flicker of movement is scrutinized, every sound dissected as they search for the vulnerable and the unwary. The serval, slender and graceful, weaves through the tall grass. Its elongated legs and spotted coat are perfectly suited for navigating the moonlit labyrinth of stems and shadows. With ears attuned to the faintest rustle, the serval pinpoints the exact location of hidden prey. In a heartbeat, it launches skyward, descending with pinpoint accuracy to snatch a rodent from its burrow. Overhead, owls drift silently on broad wings. Their feathers are engineered for noiseless flight, allowing them to swoop down undetected, talons poised for the kill. Each nocturnal hunter is a marvel of adaptation. From the smallest insectivore to the apex predator, every creature is equipped with specialized tools for survival in the darkness. Eyes reflect starlight, amplifying what little illumination exists. Ears rotate independently, capturing the faintest tremor. Whiskers and noses detect vibrations and sense imperceptible to the day-bound. For these masters, darkness is not an obstacle, but an ally. They move with confidence, blending seamlessly into the night, their presence betrayed only by the occasional glint of an eye or the soft pad of a paw. Beneath a sky ablaze with stars, predator and prey engage in a silent contest. Every sense is heightened, every instinct sharpened, as the ancient struggle for survival plays out beneath the celestial canopy. Each night brings new challenges, a sudden chase, a desperate escape, a moment of triumph or defeat. The Savannah becomes a stage for drama where only the most skilled endure. These nightly encounters are not mere spectacles. They are vital to the health of the ecosystem. Predators cull the weak, prey adapt and evolve, and the balance of life is maintained in this perpetual cycle. As the first blush of dawn creeps across the horizon, the nocturnal masters retreat. Their tracks fade in the softening earth, and the Savannah prepares for the return of the day. Their world remains largely unseen, yet its influence is profound. Beneath the moonlit plains, the true architects of the night shape the destiny of the wild, their stories etched in shadow and silence, forever a testament to the enduring mystery of the African night. Beneath the endless expanse of sky, the Savannah breathes with a language as ancient as the land itself, a language not spoken but lived, woven into every movement and sound. Here, survival depends on a complex tapestry of signals. Every animal, from the smallest bird to the largest mammal, is both a vigilant observer and an active participant, decoding and transmitting messages that shape the rhythm of daily life. Communication is a silent negotiation, an intricate dialogue expressed through posture, scent, sound, and colour. A subtle tilt of the head, a sudden stillness, or a shift in hue can mean the difference between safety and peril. Watch the elephants as they traverse the grasslands. Their deep infrasonic rumbles travel through the earth, undetectable to most, yet capable of spanning several kilometres beneath the surface. These seismic signals are felt through sensitive feet and trunks, relaying urgent warnings of distant predators, calling scattered family members or guiding lost calves back to their mothers with pinpoint precision. Nearby, zebras cluster in tight formations, their stripes creating a living code. The unique patterns disrupt the outline of each individual, confusing predators and reinforcing group unity. Within the herd, communication is constant. A flick of the ear signals irritation or alertness, while a swishing tail can indicate agitation or signal the presence of biting insects. Subtle shifts in stance ripple through the group, maintaining cohesion and readiness. In the tall grass, impalas stand frozen, muscles tensed, ears pivoting to catch the faintest sound. When danger is sensed, their tails snap upward, exposing a stark white underside, a visual alarm that flashes through the herd. This instantaneous signal triggers a chain reaction, sending the herd bounding away in synchronized leaps. The white tails act as beacons, guiding the group's escape and confounding the pursuit of silent predators. Overhead, the sharp, rhythmic calls of guinea fowl cut through the air. Their alarm notes are unmistakable, alerting not only their own flock but also antelope, warthogs, and other neighbours to the slithering approach of a snake or the shadow of a raptor. Predators, too, are masters of this unspoken language. A lioness stalking through the grass communicates with her pride through the subtlest cues, her body low, her gaze fixed, her tail barely twitching. During a hunt, a twitch of the whisker or a low, almost inaudible grunt signals the next move. Each lion reads the intentions of the others, adjusting their positions with silent precision to encircle their quarry. This seamless coordination transforms the pride into a formidable force, capable of bringing down prey many times their own size through unity and mutual understanding. Even the hyenas, often misunderstood, use a sophisticated array of vocalizations. Their haunting whoops and cackles echo across the plains, marking territory, rallying clan members, and broadcasting strength to rivals long before any confrontation. The wind itself becomes a messenger, carrying scents and sounds across vast distances. A shift in the breeze can bring the warning musk of a predator, or the comforting aroma of familiar herds. Across the Savannah, this constant exchange of signals forms an invisible web, binding every creature into a dynamic, interdependent community, where information flows ceaselessly. Each species, each individual, contributes a unique note to this intricate symphony, a living chorus that ensures the wild heart of the Savannah beats on, in perfect, ever-adapting harmony. Beneath the shimmering expanse of golden grass, the Savannah conceals a labyrinthine world, teeming with life and complexity. Here, just below the surface, an intricate network of micro-ecosystems flourishes, each one a testament to the ingenuity of nature's smallest engineers. Rising from the earth, the termite mound appears unassuming, yet it is a marvel of biological architecture. Constructed grain by grain, these fortresses are shaped by millions of tireless termites, each contributing to a structure that can tower meters above the ground. Within, a cross-section reveals a bustling metropolis. Tunnels spiral and branch, connecting chambers that serve distinct purposes, nurseries for eggs, storerooms for food, and royal quarters for the Queen. The mound's design is a masterpiece of engineering. Its walls, composed of soil, saliva and dung, insulate the interior, maintaining a stable microclimate. No matter the scorching midday sun or the chill of night, the temperature and humidity inside remain constant, allowing the colony to thrive. Air circulates through a maze of ventilation shafts, drawing in fresh oxygen and expelling carbon dioxide. Deep within, the Queen, enormous and pale, lays thousands of eggs, attended by diligent workers who nurture the next generation. Termites venture out under cover of darkness, harvesting tough grasses and woody debris. Inside the mound, specialized workers break down this plant matter, aided by symbiotic gut microbes. The result is rich, fertile soil, brimming with nutrients that seep into the surrounding earth, nourishing the roots of the savanna's grasses. The influence of these mounds extends far beyond their walls. Animal tracks crisscross the earth around them, evidence of the many species drawn to these hubs of activity. Small mammals and reptiles find shelter in the crevices and abandoned tunnels, escaping the relentless heat or sudden downpours. Birds flit about, searching for insects disturbed by the mound's residents. Snakes glide silently into the cool, winding corridors, using the mound's labyrinth as both refuge and hunting ground, preying on unsuspecting rodents or insects. When a colony moves on, the vacant galleries become nurseries for mongoose families. Here the young play and learn to hunt, safe from predators lurking in the open grass. Larger mammals, such as aardvarks and warthogs, burrow into the sturdy walls, carving out dens that offer protection from both the elements and prowling carnivores. From above, the mounds form a patchwork across the savanna, subtly altering the flow of water and the distribution of nutrients. Their presence shapes the very contours of the land. Around each mound, grasses grow taller and more vibrant, drawing herds of impalas and zebras. These grazers, in turn, attract predators, weaving the mound into the fabric of the food web. Birds perch atop the highest points, using the vantage to scan for prey or rivals, their calls echoing across the plains. Insects, reptiles and mammals converge at these sites, each species finding a niche within the microcosm created by the mound's presence. As the sun dips low, the mounds cast elongated shadows, providing cool respite for creatures seeking shelter from the fading heat. Each cross-section tells a story. Termites tending their fungus gardens, snakes coiled in hidden alcoves, birds nesting in upper chambers, and mammals resting in the depths. Towering above the grass, the mound stands as a monument to cooperation and adaptation, its scale dwarfing the creatures that built it, yet supporting an entire community. As dusk settles and the savanna glows with the last light, the hidden cities beneath the grass continue their ceaseless labour. Unseen, they shape the world above, recycling, nurturing and sustaining the vast interconnected web of life that defines the African plains. Across the endless sweep of the savanna, time is not counted in hours or days, but in the subtle pulse of the seasons, a rhythm set by the arrival and retreat of the rains. The land itself is a living chronicle, its every contour shaped by the interplay of water, sun and wind. With each season, the savanna undergoes a breathtaking metamorphosis. Parched plains, bleached by months of relentless sun, are suddenly transformed into a lush tapestry as the first rains fall. The earth, once cracked and silent, becomes a canvas for renewal. On the horizon, storm clouds gather, ominous and electric. The wind stirs the golden grass, carrying with it the promise of change. Every living thing senses the shift, anticipation rippling through the landscape. The brittle silence of the dry season is shattered by the distant roll of thunder. As the first drops strike the parched earth, the scent of petrichor rises, a signal to all that the long wait is over. Rain sweeps across the plains, coaxing dormant seeds to life. The savanna stirs, every blade of grass and every leaf responding to the life-giving water. Grasses, once brittle and dust-choked, surge upward in a vibrant rush of green. In mere days, the landscape is transformed, a sea of new growth stretching to the horizon. Acacia trees awaken, unfurling delicate leaves and crowning their branches with blossoms. These flowers, rich with nectar, draw pollinators in a flurry of activity. Bees and butterflies weaving through the air, ensuring the next generation of trees. The plains become highways for life. Herds of wildebeest and zebra, driven by instinct and memory, flow across the rejuvenated grasslands, following the green tide as it sweeps north and south. Each hoofstep aerates the soil, each dropping fertilizes the earth. The cycle of life is renewed. Plants feed the grazers, grazers feed the land, and the land in turn sustains all. Predators, ever watchful, adapt their strategies to the shifting abundance. Lions and cheetahs melt into the tall grass, their senses sharpened by hunger and opportunity. Near swollen waterholes, they wait in patient silence. Prey animals gather, drawn by the promise of water, but wary of the dangers that lurk in the shadows. The air fills with the songs of returning migrants, flocks of birds that have travelled thousands of miles to reclaim their place in the seasonal abundance. Each species finds its niche, its call woven into the chorus of renewal. Butterflies erupt in dazzling clouds, drifting among wildflowers. On the ground, dung beetles labour tirelessly, rolling their treasures across the moist earth, recycling nutrients and sustaining the web of life. But the wet season is brief, a fleeting interlude. As the rains cease, the grasses begin their slow retreat, fading from emerald to gold. Rivers shrink, their banks exposed to the sun. The once lush grass withers, returning the land to its austere beauty. Elephants, the architects of the Savannah, dig deep into dry riverbeds with their tusks, unearthing hidden water and carving new paths for life to follow. As resources dwindle, animals adapt. Some shift their diets, browsing on tougher leaves or bark. Others seek refuge in the shade, conserving precious energy beneath the sparse canopy. Beneath the surface, small mammals and reptiles retreat into burrows, escaping the heat and waiting for the promise of rain to return. Others embark on epic migrations, traversing vast distances in search of water and grazing, each journey a testament to endurance and instinct. Through drought and deluge, the Savannah endures. Its inhabitants are shaped by adversity, their lives interwoven in a tapestry of resilience and adaptation. In every transformation, the delicate balance of life is revealed. The dance of the seasons is both harsh and beautiful, a perpetual cycle choreographed by the ever-changing sky, where survival is an art and every heartbeat echoes the ancient rhythm of the land. Beneath the shimmering veil of golden grasses, as the first rays of dawn spill across the Savannah, an intricate tapestry of life quietly stirs. Hidden from view, a labyrinth of roots and stems weaves together, binding the earth and anchoring a network as elaborate as any metropolis. Here, existence is a communal endeavour, each creature's fate entwined with countless others in a ceaseless dance of survival. Predator eyes meet the wary gaze of prey, while pollinators flit from blossom to blossom, ensuring the renewal of life with every delicate landing. Scavengers and decomposers, often overlooked, orchestrate the final act, transforming death into nourishment for the soil and the cycle anew. As the sun crests the horizon, a solitary impala grazes, her muscles taut, nostrils quivering at the faintest scent of danger. She is both a consumer of tender shoots and a heartbeat away from becoming a meal herself, her vigilance a testament to the ever-present threat. Every twitch, every cautious glance ripples outward, influencing the movements of those around her, her presence a thread in the broader fabric of life. In the cool shade of an acacia, a pride of lions lies in wait, their golden eyes fixed on the shifting herds, patience etched into every sinew. Each breath is measured, every muscle coiled as they bide their time, masters of restraint, shaped by the demands of scarcity and opportunity. When the hunt erupts, its consequences radiate through the ecosystem, setting off a cascade of responses among all who share this land. The victorious pride feasts, nourishing not only themselves but also their cubs, whose survival depends on the strength of the pride's unity. In the aftermath, hyenas and jackals materialize from the shadows, their keen senses drawing them to the remnants, each bite a lifeline in the harsh expanse. Overhead, vultures spiral downward, their wings casting fleeting shadows as they descend to claim what remains, ensuring nothing is wasted. Even the tiniest inhabitants are indispensable to this grand design. Termites, tireless engineers, dismantle the toughest grasses, their jaws breaking down what others cannot digest. Deep below, their labyrinthine colonies churn the earth, recycling nutrients and breathing life into the soil, making growth possible for generations to come. Dung beetles and other insects swarm over fresh droppings, rolling and burying them, dispersing seeds and fertilizing the land in a single motion. Their efforts feed a multitude, birds darting through the grass, reptiles flicking tongues to snatch a meal, each link vital, each role unique. The grasses themselves, sculpted by the relentless grazing of herbivores, are shaped and renewed by the mouths of wildebeest, zebra and antelope, their growth spurred by the very creatures that consume them. As herds thunder across the plains, their hooves trample old growth, clearing the way for new shoots and altering the landscape with every migration. The very rhythm of life is dictated by these migrations, their paths etched into the earth, guiding the flow of energy and opportunity. As daylight wanes, the web grows taut with anticipation. Leopards emerge, silent and solitary, draped across the limbs of acacia trees, their gaze piercing the gathering gloom. Owls glide on noiseless wings, their talons poised to seize the unwary, their calls a haunting refrain in the twilight. Prey animals, sensing the shift, cluster together, their bodies pressed close, eyes wide and ears straining for the faintest hint of movement. Some seek the safety of numbers, while others melt into the tall shadows, trusting camouflage and stillness to shield them from prowling hunters. Each encounter under the moonlit sky is a crucible of adaptation, where only the most attuned survive the night's relentless trials. Instinct and chance collide in a heartbeat, eyes flash, muscles tense, and destinies are decided in the blink of an eye. There are no villains, no heroes, only participants in a drama as old as the land itself. Every hunter is hunted in turn. The cheetah glances over its shoulder, wary of lions, while lions themselves yield to the might of larger rivals. Each meal is a fleeting triumph, shadowed by the approach of scavengers and the ever-present threat of loss. The Savannah pulses with movement, herds on the march, predators in pursuit, scavengers trailing in their wake, each step shaping the world anew. Yet this system, for all its resilience, is delicately balanced. The loss of a single species can unravel connections, sending shockwaves through the web. The destinies of many are rewritten in the wake of change, as the ecosystem adapts, falters, or flourishes in response. Every creature leaves its mark, hoofprints pressed into dusty soil, paw prints tracing silent journeys, each a chapter in the ongoing saga. The calls that echo at dusk, trumpeting elephants, chattering birds, the distant roar of a lion, compose a symphony of presence and persistence. Beneath the grass, unseen dramas unfold. Insects scurry, small mammals burrow, and the pulse of life continues in hidden corridors. With each sunrise, the cycle begins anew. Predators sharpen their senses, grazers test the wind, and the web is rewoven, thread by living thread. The Savannah endures as a living testament to the power and fragility of connection, where every heartbeat, every breath is part of a story that never truly ends. In this boundless web of life and death, the wild writes its own legacy, one of endless interdependence, resilience, and renewal. Beneath the immense pillars of elephants, where the earth trembles with every step, a hidden world pulses with life. Here the Savannah's giants cast long shadows, but it is in these shadows that the true masters of miniature survival emerge. As lion tails sweep through the golden grass, their movements barely disturb the intricate networks below. In this underfoot realm, survival is a relentless contest of adaptation, resourcefulness, and precision. The sun-baked soil is a mosaic of microhabitats, cracks sheltering beetles from the midday heat, roots weaving a labyrinth for nimble reptiles, and every crevice teeming with life. Insects and reptiles have evolved specialized behaviors and anatomies, each perfectly tuned to the Savannah's extremes. The dung beetle, encased in a suit of chitinous armor, demonstrates remarkable engineering. With powerful forelegs, it sculpts and maneuvers a ball of dung across the fractured earth, navigating obstacles many times its own size. This beetle's strength is legendary, capable of shifting over 1,000 times its own weight. It buries its prize deep underground, creating a subterranean larder that nourishes its larvae and enriches the soil, recycling nutrients vital for the Savannah's grasses. Nearby, a harvester ant colony operates with military precision. Each ant is a specialist, workers, soldiers and foragers coordinating seamlessly to gather seeds, their primary food source, from the scattered grassland. Scouts, equipped with acute chemical sensors, chart invisible pheromone trails. These trails guide columns of workers to hidden caches of seeds, ensuring the colony's survival through lean seasons. Beneath the surface, ants excavate elaborate tunnel systems. Their constant movement aerates the soil, improving water infiltration and nutrient cycling, an unseen but essential service for the entire ecosystem. On a sunlit rock, the agama lizard becomes a living signal. Its throat, flushed with electric blues and reds, is both a warning to rivals and an invitation to potential mates. This display is a calculated risk, balancing the need to reproduce with the threat of predation. When danger looms, a shadow overhead, the whisper of wings, the agama's reflexes are instantaneous. It vanishes into the tangled undergrowth, its movements honed by generations of selective pressure, evading talons with split-second timing. Among the leaf litter, the pygmy gecko is a master of disguise. Its mottled skin mirrors the dappled sunlight and debris, rendering it nearly invisible to both predator and prey. Remaining motionless, the gecko senses the faintest vibrations. When an insect strays too close, it strikes with lightning speed, its jaws closing with surgical accuracy, a testament to evolutionary refinement. As dusk falls, winged termites emerge in synchronized swarms. Their bodies glint in the fading light, each individual driven by an ancient imperative to disperse and establish new colonies. For a fleeting interval, the sky is alive with predators. Birds and bats swoop and dive, while small mammals seize the opportunity below. This brief abundance sustains countless species, linking the fates of hunter and hunted. The surviving termites descend into the earth, where they become architects of vast subterranean fortresses. Their tunnels regulate temperature and humidity, supporting entire colonies that will persist for decades, quietly shaping the landscape. Every day, these miniature survivors confront a gauntlet of hazards: scorching heat that desiccates, sudden floods that sweep away the unwary, and a constant threat from predators, both seen and unseen, lurking in the grass and shadows. Their arsenal is diverse, burrowing deep to escape the sun, blending seamlessly with their surroundings, or swarming in overwhelming numbers. Each strategy is a product of countless generations of trial and error, refined for survival in this unforgiving environment. The resilience of these small creatures forms the foundation of the savanna. Their unseen labour aerates the soil, recycles nutrients, and sustains the plants that feed the largest herbivores. The entire ecosystem is balanced upon their tireless efforts. In this intricate world, every grain of sand, every blade of grass, and every fleeting shadow is shaped by the ingenuity and perseverance of the savanna's smallest inhabitants, a testament to the power of adaptation and the enduring spirit of life. Above the endless grasslands, the sky is a living canvas, restless, ever-shifting, and powerful beyond measure. Its moods dictate the rhythm of life below, orchestrating a symphony of survival and transformation. Weather here is no passive backdrop. It is the invisible sculptor, carving the destiny of the savanna with every gust, every drop, every flash of light. Each year, the land is locked in a perpetual ballet. Drought's grip hardens the earth, then the heavens open, unleashing torrents that breathe life into the dust. Thunderheads tower on the horizon, their shadows racing across the plains like silent giants, heralding the arrival of change. Lightning cleaves the sky, and the first raindrops strike the parched ground with a promise, awakening seeds that have slumbered through months of thirst. In a matter of days, the transformation is astonishing. Brown, brittle grass gives way to a lush emerald tapestry. Grass shoots surge skyward, weaving a patchwork of abundance that stretches to every horizon, a feast for the eyes and for the hungry. This sudden bounty summons grazers from distant corners. Zebras, wildebeest and gazelles converge, their hooves stirring the rejuvenated earth as they feast on the new growth. Yet the green flush is ephemeral. As the days pass, the relentless sun returns, and the grass begins to wither, its vibrancy fading beneath the heat. Rivers, once swollen with rain, shrink to narrow ribbons. Waterholes dwindle, becoming rare sanctuaries where life gathers in uneasy truce. The wind, now dry and restless, sweeps dust across the plains, carrying with it the scent of distant storms and the memory of rain. Every creature becomes a weather watcher, reading the sky for signs. An antelope's ears flick, a giraffe's gaze lingers on the horizon, all attuned to the subtle cues of change. Elephants, guided by ancient memory and the scent of moisture on the wind, lead their herds to hidden springs, their matriarchs carrying the wisdom of generations. Birds, too, are sculpted by the sky. Their migrations are timed to the pulse of the monsoon, wings slicing through shifting currents as they chase the promise of rain. Even the smallest architects of the savanna, swarms of insects, emerge in synchrony with the rains, their brief lives a frenzy of feeding and breeding before the land dries once more. As the heat intensifies, a shimmering haze blurs the horizon. Animals pant in the shade, their bodies pushed to the limits by the relentless sun. Shade becomes a precious sanctuary. Beneath the shelter of acacia trees or within cool burrows, life retreats from the midday furnace. Some, like tortoises and frogs, burrow deep and enter a state of estivation, slowing their bodies to endure the long, dry months. Others, such as the mighty baobab and resilient acacia, store water within swollen trunks, offering sustenance to those who know where to seek it. Yet the sky's hand is not always gentle. Storms can gather with terrifying speed, their fury reshaping the land in moments. Torrential floods sweep across the plains, washing away nests and burrows, while unyielding droughts leave only bones and silence in their wake. Lightning ignites wildfires that race across the grasslands, consuming the old and clearing the way for new life to rise from the ashes. Through cycles of abundance and adversity, every creature is shaped by the whims of weather, each season a new chapter in the saga of survival. The sky is the silent architect, unpredictable and sometimes merciless, yet always essential, its touch etching the story of the Savannah into every blade of grass and every grain of soil. Here, to endure is to adapt, not only to the chase and the hunted, but to the ever-changing temperament of the sky, the true sculptor of this wild and wondrous land. Beneath the vast cloud-streaked sky, the African savanna is not merely a stage for the struggle of predator and prey. It is a living tapestry, woven from countless silent alliances, complex, often invisible partnerships that allow life to flourish against the odds. Here, survival is rarely a solitary endeavour. The intricate web of symbiotic relationships, mutualism, commensalism, and even subtle forms of cooperation binds species together in a delicate balance, each thread vital to the ecosystem's resilience. On the golden plains, herds of zebras and wildebeest graze side by side, their movements synchronized in a silent choreography. At first glance, they appear as mere neighbors, but their coexistence is a calculated alliance. Together they form a living shield, their sheer numbers and mingled scents confusing the keen senses of predators. Zebras, equipped with robust incisors, shear away the tough, fibrous upper grass, exposing the tender shoots below. Wildebeest, with narrower muzzles, follow close behind, feeding on the fresh growth. This sequential grazing not only maximizes food efficiency, but also maintains the health of the grassland itself. When danger looms, these herds move as one, thousands of hooves thundering in unison. The confusion of shapes and stripes bewilders predators, reducing the risk for every individual and ensuring the survival of both species. Nearby, a flock of oxpeckers descends onto the broad backs of grazing buffalo, their wings flickering in the sunlight. These birds are far more than mere passengers. Their presence is a lifeline for both themselves and their hosts. With surgical precision, oxpeckers probe the buffalo's thick hide, extracting ticks, fleas, and biting flies. Their sharp beaks remove parasites that would otherwise sap the buffalo's strength, reducing the risk of disease and infection. The buffalo, in turn, tolerate the bird's constant attention, benefiting from this meticulous grooming. For the oxpeckers, each buffalo is a moving buffet, a partnership born of necessity and refined by evolution. Even at the smallest scale, alliances flourish. In the undergrowth, tiny mammals and birds form partnerships as vital as those of the giants above. Dwarf mongooses, ever alert to danger, share their labyrinthine burrows with hornbills. This unlikely alliance is built on trust and vigilance. As the mongooses forage for insects and larvae, the hornbills stand sentry, their keen eyes scanning for snakes or raptors. At the first sign of threat, the hornbills sound a piercing alarm, sending the mongooses scurrying to safety. In return, the hornbills snatch up insects and small reptiles disturbed by the mongooses' digging. Each species gains a vital advantage, their fortunes intertwined by mutual benefit. The acacia tree, bristling with thorns and laced with toxins, appears forbidding to most. Yet it is the heart of another remarkable alliance. Within its swollen thorns, armies of acacia ants find sanctuary. The tree provides them with shelter and a steady supply of nectar. In return, the ants mount a relentless defense, swarming out to bite and sting any herbivore or insect that dares to threaten their host. Their aggression deters even the hungriest browsers. The acacia's thorns become living fortresses, guarded by legions of loyal defenders. In this exchange, both tree and ant thrive, their destinies inseparable. In the dappled shade beneath the acacias, warthogs kneel to root through the earth, their snouts unearthing hidden treasures. Nearby, a meerkat stands upright, its sharp eyes scanning the horizon for danger. This vigilance is not just for itself, but for all who share its territory. As the warthog digs, it disturbs insects and grubs, which the meerkat swiftly captures. The warthog gains a companion in watchfulness, while the meerkat enjoys a feast of opportunity. Both species benefit, their fates subtly intertwined by the rhythms of foraging and vigilance, a quiet partnership shaped by the demands of survival. Across the savanna, these symbiotic bonds are not mere curiosities. They are the foundation of life itself. Each partnership, whether fleeting or enduring, strengthens the fabric of the ecosystem. Every connection, every alliance, no matter how brief, adds resilience to the whole, allowing the savanna to endure the cycles of drought and abundance. Through cooperation and interdependence, the wild finds its strength. Even in the harshest season, the bonds beyond blood, these intricate living partnerships, ensure that life on the savanna not only survives, but thrives. In the heart of the savanna, survival is a relentless test, a contest measured not in brute strength alone, but in the quiet ingenuity of evolution. Here, every sunrise reveals a living tapestry, woven from millions of years of adaptation, where each species is armed with a unique arsenal, honed by the demands of this ever-shifting land. From the tallest browsers to the smallest burrowers, every creature is a testament to nature's creativity. Their bodies, behaviours and senses are shaped by the invisible hand of natural selection, each trait a solution to the challenges of heat, hunger, predation and drought. Consider the giraffe, its elongated neck rising above the acacia canopy. This extraordinary feature is not simply for reaching the highest leaves, but also for surveying the horizon, detecting predators from afar, and even for ritualized combat, necking battles that determine dominance among males. When a giraffe lowers its head to drink, a network of specialized valves in its veins prevents a sudden rush of blood to the brain, averting fainting. Its keen eyesight and elevated vantage point allow it to spot danger long before it arrives, while its powerful legs can deliver a lethal kick to would-be attackers. Its tongue, nearly 1/2 metre long, is tough and prehensile, skillfully navigating past acacia thorns to strip tender shoots. The giraffe's patchwork fur, with irregular spots and colours, acts as camouflage, breaking up its outline in the shifting light and shadow of the savanna. On the ground, the African elephant is a marvel of adaptation. Its immense size deters most predators, but its survival depends on far more than brute force. The elephant's wrinkled skin, thick and deeply creased, traps moisture and mud, providing a natural sunscreen and a barrier against biting insects. Each wrinkle increases surface area, helping to dissipate heat in the relentless sun. Its trunk, a fusion of nose and upper lip, contains over 40,000 muscles, granting it the strength to uproot trees and the finesse to pluck a single blade of grass. Sensitive to touch and smell, the trunk is a lifeline for feeding, drinking and social bonding. The elephant's ears, vast and thin, are laced with blood vessels. By flapping them, elephants pump blood through these vessels, cooling themselves in the sweltering heat, a living air conditioning system. The cheetah, the fastest land animal, is the embodiment of specialization. Every aspect of its body is engineered for explosive acceleration and agility. Lightweight bones, elongated limbs and flexible spine act as a spring, propelling the cheetah forward in great bounds. Semi-retractable claws grip the earth, while oversized nostrils, lungs and heart flood its muscles with oxygen during the chase. Its long, muscular tail acts as a counterbalance and rudder, allowing the cheetah to make lightning-fast turns as it pursues prey across the open plain. But this design comes at a price. The cheetah's slender frame sacrifices stamina for speed, limiting it to short, breathtaking sprints, each one a gamble between feast and famine. Beneath the surface, the naked mole rat thrives in a world of perpetual darkness. Its body is nearly hairless, minimizing friction as it tunnels through the earth. Nearly blind, it relies on touch and scent to navigate. Its protruding incisors used for digging extend outside the mouth, allowing it to excavate soil without swallowing grit. Sensitive whiskers detect vibrations, warning of approaching danger. Naked mole rats live in eusocial colonies with a single breeding queen and specialized workers. Their bodies tolerate low oxygen and high carbon dioxide, an adaptation unmatched among mammals, allowing them to survive in sealed tunnels where others would perish. Even the grasses of the savanna are not passive. Their adaptations are subtle but vital, forming the foundation of the ecosystem. Deep, fibrous roots anchor them against drought and the pounding hooves of migrating herds, storing water and nutrients for lean times. Silica crystals embedded in their blades make them tough and abrasive, wearing down the teeth of grazers and deterring overconsumption. Some species have evolved to regenerate rapidly after fire, sprouting fresh shoots from underground stems. In this way, destruction becomes renewal, and the green mantle of the savanna returns with the rains. Across the savanna, every adaptation tells a story of challenge met, of hardship overcome, of ingenious solutions to the trials of life. Evolution is both sculptor and sentinel, shaping hidden tools, the keen eyesight of raptors, the cryptic coloration of prey, the synchronized movements of herds, and the nocturnal habits of those who avoid the heat. Here, survival is not a matter of chance, but the sum of countless subtle triumphs, each written in the bodies, behaviours, and very instincts of those who call the savanna home. In this ancient arena, evolution's hidden arsenal is the difference between life and loss, and the story of survival is never truly finished. Beneath the golden expanse of the savanna, danger is seldom where the eye expects. The grasslands, bathed in morning light, appear tranquil, yet every blade conceals a world of silent threats woven into the very fabric of life here. While the prowling lion or the sprinting cheetah command attention, it is the hidden perils, silent, insidious, and ever-present, that shape the fate of every creature here. The grass itself becomes a veil, masking dangers that move without sound or warning. Disease weaves an invisible web, through the grasslands. Microscopic threats drift on the morning breeze, clinging to droplets of dew, waiting for the unsuspecting to pass by. Each step through the grass is a gamble with pathogens that have evolved alongside their hosts for millennia. Tsetse flies, no larger than a pebble, carry the sleeping sickness that can fell even the mightiest buffalo or zebra. Their delicate wings barely disturb the air, yet their bite delivers a parasite that invades the bloodstream, unseen and relentless. A single bite injects parasites into the bloodstream, sapping strength, muddling senses, and in time bringing quiet death. The infected wander in confusion, their bodies betraying them as the parasite multiplies, hidden from all but the most observant eyes. Waterholes, lifelines in the dry season, become gathering points not just for thirsty herds, but for bacteria and viruses, unseen adversaries that leap from one species to another with every sip. The surface of the water shimmers with life and danger alike, a microcosm of risk in every droplet. Then there are the forces that rumble in from the horizon. The sky darkens, and the air thickens with the scent of change, heralding threats that move with the wind. Wildfires, sparked by lightning or the relentless sun, sweep through the savanna in a surge of heat and smoke. Flames race across the grass, consuming everything in their path, leaving behind a scorched silence. For some, fire is renewal. For others, it is an unstoppable wall, devouring nests, burrows, and the unwary. The aftermath is a landscape transformed, ashes where life once thrived, and the faint hope of regrowth. The rains, so longed for, can also betray. Heavy clouds gather, promising relief, but sometimes deliver only chaos. Flash floods carve new channels through the earth, sweeping away the young, the weak, and any who cannot outrun the torrent. The water, once a source of life, becomes a force of destruction, reshaping the land in moments. Even the air itself can turn hostile. Winds whip across the plains, carrying dust and heat, stripping moisture from every living thing. Drought tightens its grip, baking the soil and withering the grass. The land becomes brittle, every step stirring clouds of dust that choke and blind. Food grows scarce, and the competition sharpens to a desperate edge. Every mouthful is hard won, every drop of water a prize fiercely contested. Parasites like ticks and worms exploit the weakened, draining life drop by drop. They burrow unseen, feeding on the vulnerable, their presence revealed only by the slow decline of their hosts. Yet these challenges are not merely obstacles. They are the architects of resilience. Each trial forges new strategies for survival, shaping the instincts and behaviours of every species. Every survivor is shaped by the gauntlet of disease, disaster, and deprivation. The strong endure, the adaptable thrive, and the lessons of hardship are etched into the very DNA of the savanna's inhabitants. Each unseen threat hones the instincts, the immune systems, and the very behaviours passed down across generations. Survival here is not just a matter of strength, but of learning, adaptation, and the relentless will to endure. In the savanna, the fiercest predator may be the one you never see. The grass hides more than hunters. It shelters the invisible, the microscopic, and the elemental forces that shape every life. Here, survival is a daily negotiation with a world that is as unforgiving as it is magnificent, where the greatest danger often lies in the grass beneath your feet. In this realm, the unseen is as powerful as the seen, and every life is a testament to the art of survival. In the endless tapestry of the savanna, every life is bound by invisible threads. an intricate web of connections that stretches from the tiniest termite to the towering giraffe. Here, survival is not a solitary struggle, but a symphony of interactions, each note echoing through the lives of countless creatures. At the heart of this web lie the grazers, wildebeest, zebra and antelope, their herds carving pathways through the grass, shaping the land with every mouthful. Their movement stirs the insects, locusts and beetles, that feast on the leftovers, while flocks of birds follow, snatching up what remains. But every grazer is watched. The lioness, silent in the golden grass, is more than a hunter. She is a keystone in the web, her every pursuit shaping the behaviour and numbers of those she hunts. When she strikes, the ripple is felt far beyond her pride. The carcass she leaves behind becomes a feast for hyenas, jackals and vultures, each taking their share, each link in a chain that returns nutrients to the earth. Even the smallest predators play their part. The serval stalks through the undergrowth, seeking rodents and birds that themselves prey on seeds and insects. The web tightens, each strand a connection between hunter and hunted, consumer and consumed. Beneath the surface, termites and dung beetles break down what others leave behind, transforming waste into fertile soil. Their work feeds the grass, which in turn sustains the herds, a cycle unbroken for millennia. Yet the web is more than predator and prey. It is competition between cheetahs and wild dogs, each vying for the same quarry, their fortunes rising and falling with every chase. It is the silent exchange between oxpecker and buffalo, between parasite and host, each interaction a thread that binds the savanna together. Remove one strand, and the whole fabric trembles. The loss of a single species can send shock waves through the food web, altering the balance, reshaping the fate of many. Here, every life, hunter or hunted, great or small, matters. In the savanna, power is not held by the strongest alone, but by the connections that bind all lives together. The food web is both battlefield and lifeline, a living testament to the complexity and resilience of this wild kingdom. And as the sun sets over the grasslands, the dance of life and death continues, each thread pulling, releasing, weaving the story of the savanna anew. Beneath the towering elephants and thundering herds, an unseen multitude shapes the destiny of the savanna. Tiny architects, engineers, and caretakers, insects. Though small, their influence is vast, and their presence is woven into every blade of grass, every patch of soil. As dawn breaks, the air shimmers with the wings of grasshoppers and locusts, their synchronized leaps fueling the diets of birds and small mammals. Ants, tireless and organized, march in endless columns, aerating the earth as they tunnel, their underground cities rivaling any metropolis above. Each grain of soil they move allows roots to breathe, water to seep, and seeds to sprout, quietly sculpting the landscape. Beetles, both jewel-bright and earth-toned, scuttle across the savanna floor. Dung beetles, in particular, perform a vital service, rolling and burying the waste of larger animals. With every ball they entomb, they recycle nutrients, reduce parasites, and fertilize the plains, ensuring that grass will grow anew when the rains return. Termites, masters of construction, rise in silent towers from the earth. Their mounds are marvels of engineering, with intricate tunnels that regulate temperature and humidity. Within, millions work in harmony, breaking down tough plant fibers and dead wood, transforming decay into the foundation of life. The nutrients they release feed not just the soil, but the entire chain of life above. Hovering between the blooms, bees and butterflies pollinate the wildflowers and shrubs that dot the grasslands. With each delicate landing, they ensure the next generation of plants, fuel for grazers, shelter for the small, and beauty for all. Even the stealthy assassin bugs and luminous fireflies play their part, controlling pests and signalling the rhythms of night and day. From the shadows, spiders weave silken traps, capturing the unwary and keeping insect populations in balance. Praying mantises, camouflaged and patient, wait for the slightest tremor, predators among predators. Insects are the savanna's silent majority. They decompose, pollinate, hunt and build. They are food and farmer, engineer and undertaker. Without their ceaseless labour, the grand drama of the savanna would falter. Every giant owes its survival to these micro-giants, nature's smallest yet most essential rulers of the wild. As the sun dips low and the chorus of cicadas rises, the savanna hums with life, an orchestra conducted by countless tiny hands, unseen but indispensable. In the great web of the savanna, it is the insects who keep every thread intact. Across the vast expanse of the savanna, a flicker of orange ignites beneath the dry grass, a spark that swiftly unfurls into a rolling wave of flame. These fires, born of lightning and the relentless sun, sweep across the plains with primal energy. To the untrained eye, they appear as pure destruction. But here, fire is not merely an end, it is a beginning. As the blaze advances, animals move with ancient instinct. Herds of antelope and zebra gallop to safer ground, while burrowing creatures retreat into cool, earthen sanctuaries. Birds soar overhead, their sharp eyes seeking untouched islands of green. For those who cannot flee, the flames are a test of resilience, yet even in loss there is hidden purpose. In the fire's wake, the savanna transforms. Ash carpets the soil, rich with minerals unlocked by heat. Charred stems and blackened earth become the foundation for rebirth. Within days, the first green shoots pierce the soot, tender, nutrient-rich grass that draws grazers back in droves. This fresh growth nourishes not only the herds, but every creature that depends on them, from stalking lions to scavenging jackals. Termite mounds, their walls baked hard by the flames, stand as fortresses amid the blackened plain. Inside, colonies remain unscathed, ready to recycle the fallen and rebuild. Seeds, some dormant for years, are awakened by fire's touch. Their tough shells crack in the heat, releasing life that will soon flower and fruit. Fire-adapted trees, with thick bark and deep roots, sprout new leaves, their branches silhouetted against the smoky sky. Insects return, drawn by the promise of regrowth. Beetles seeking charred wood, butterflies sipping nectar from the first blooms. Predators follow, reshaping their territories as the landscape heals. The cycle of fire and renewal is ancient, woven into the DNA of every creature here. As dusk settles and the last embers glow, the savanna breathes in a new beginning. From ashes, life surges forward, faster, greener, more abundant than before. The fires that once seemed merciless are revealed as architects of diversity, sculpting the savanna's future with every passing season. In this eternal rhythm, destruction and creation are one, and the savanna endures, ever vibrant, ever wild. Each year, the savanna pulses with a movement as ancient as the land itself, a living tide surging across the plains. This is the Great Migration, a breathtaking spectacle where millions of hooves drum the earth, carving invisible highways through grass and dust. At dawn, the horizon shimmers with restless energy. Wildebeest, zebras and gazelles gather in vast shifting herds, their numbers so immense they seem to merge with the landscape. Driven by instinct and the promise of rain, they chart a perilous course, north and south, across rivers swollen with crocodiles, through woodlands and open plains. Their journey, measured in hundreds of miles, is a race against hunger and thirst, as well as the ever-present threat of predators. Aerial views reveal ribbons of animals stretching to the vanishing point, each individual drawn by the scent of fresh grass on distant winds. Calves stumble beside mothers. Elders lead the way, guided by memories imprinted over generations. The herds move as one, yet within them every life is a story of risk and resilience. Cameras plunge beneath the dust to reveal the drama at ground level. Lions and cheetahs stalk the margins, eyes fixed on the slow and the young. The chase is swift, brutal and essential, nature's balance in motion. Scavengers trail the herds, ready to clean the aftermath, ensuring nothing is wasted. As the rains return, the landscape transforms. Rivers swell, and the once parched earth erupts in new growth. The herds arrive at their destination, their bodies lean but spirits unbroken. Here they graze, mate, and raise their young, revitalizing the ecosystem with every step. Birds of prey soar above, while jackals and hyenas shadow the fringes, all woven into the fabric of migration. The journey is not without sacrifice. Many fall along the way, claimed by exhaustion predators or the rivers themselves. Yet for every loss, countless lives are renewed. The migration shapes not only the herds, but the entire savanna, spreading seeds, fertilizing soil, and sustaining predators. As the dry season returns, the cycle begins anew. The herds sense the subtle shift in wind and the distant rumble of thunder. Once more they gather at the edge of the grasslands, ready to follow the rivers of life that have guided their ancestors for millennia. In the grand choreography of the savanna, migration is the beating heart, a testament to endurance, unity, and the relentless drive to survive. Across the endless plains, the journey continues, as it always has, painting the land with the footprints of life. Beneath the thunder of hooves and the drama of predators, a quieter struggle unfolds, one written in roots, thorns and leaves. The plants of the savanna, often overlooked, are silent survivors, armed with a remarkable arsenal of adaptations to endure relentless sun, erratic rain, and the appetites of the giants above. The camera glides close to the ground, revealing blades of grass sharp as needles, their waxy surfaces glistening with dew. These grasses are the architects of the savanna, engineered to regrow swiftly after grazing and fire. Deep roots anchor them securely, drawing hidden moisture even in the harshest droughts. As flames sweep the plains, time-lapse footage shows green shoots erupting from blackened soil, a testament to resilience. Elsewhere, acacia trees stand sentinel, their umbrella crowns casting precious shade. But their beauty is armour. Branches bristle with thorns, and leaves release bitter chemicals when chewed, deterring all but the most determined herbivores. Insects swarm the branches, but look closer. Some are guardians, ants fiercely defending their acacia homes in exchange for sweet nectar, forming a living alliance against larger threats. Succulents and baobabs store water in swollen trunks and leaves, transforming their bodies into reservoirs for the dry season. The camera pans up the massive baobab, its bark scarred but unyielding, holding life within even when all else withers. When the rains return, these giants burst into bloom, their flowers a beacon for pollinators in the sparse landscape. Seeds, too, are masters of patience. Encased in tough shells, they lie dormant for months or years, waiting for the precise moment, one heavy rainfall, one brush of fire, to spring to life. Some seeds hitch rides on passing animals, their hooks and barbs engineered for travel, ensuring the next generation takes root far from the parent plant. As the sun sets, the savanna transforms into a tapestry of gold and green, every plant a survivor in a world shaped by fire, teeth, and thirst. Their strategies are invisible to the casual eye, but without them the great migrations would falter and the savanna would fall silent. In this realm, strength is measured not by speed or size, but by the ability to endure, quietly, persistently, and with astonishing ingenuity. As daylight surrenders to dusk, a profound transformation ripples across the savanna. The familiar world of golden grass and bustling herds dissolves into a tapestry of silhouettes, moonlight, and secrets. While the sun's heat once dictated every move, now it is the cool embrace of night that stirs a hidden kingdom to life. Infrared footage reveals a new cast of characters, creatures sculpted by darkness. A fleet-footed aardvark emerges, its elongated snout sweeping the earth, probing for termites beneath the crust. The camera follows its methodical foraging, claws expertly tearing into mounds. In the undergrowth, spring hares leap like shadows, their movements a blur as they evade silent owls gliding overhead. The night air thrums with the calls of nightjars and the haunting cries of bush babies, their enormous eyes reflecting the starlight as they bound between thorny branches. A genet, ghost-like and agile, slinks along a fallen log, its dappled pelt providing perfect camouflage. The lens lingers on its delicate paws as it sniffs the air, following the faintest scent trails left by prey. Nearby, a porcupine bristles, quills rattling softly as it navigates the darkness, searching for fallen fruit and roots. In the grass, a chorus of insects rises, their songs weaving a living soundscape. Fireflies flicker in erratic patterns, signalling to unseen mates. Spiders repair and reset their webs, dew catching on the silken strands, sparkling under the moon's gaze. Beneath the soil, mole rats tunnel tirelessly, unseen architects of the night. The camera pans to a serval, its tall ears swivelling independently, capturing the faint rustle of a mouse. With a sudden leap, it vanishes into the tall grass, predator and prey locked in a silent ballet. Hyenas, too, roam the shadowed plains, their senses sharpened in the darkness, laughter echoing faintly over the land. Far from silent, the nocturnal savanna hums with life, an intricate network of hunters, foragers and survivors, each adapted to thrive in the absence of light. Here, vision gives way to sound, scent and touch. The night is not a time of rest, but of activity, opportunity and peril. As dawn approaches, the shadows recede and the nocturnal kingdom retreats, its mysteries hidden once more beneath the glare of the rising sun. Yet, for a few precious hours each night, the savanna belongs to the shadows, and the lives that flourish within them. Across the vast savanna, water is more than a resource. It is the silent architect of life, carving invisible boundaries and forging unlikely alliances. As dawn's first light breaks, the camera glides low over a glistening waterhole, its mirror-like surface reflecting acacia silhouettes and drifting clouds. Herds converge in tense silence. Zebras, wildebeest and impalas, each drawn by thirst, each wary of what the shadows conceal. The lens narrows on the shoreline, where a lone, crowned crane picks delicately through the shallows, its reflection a ghostly twin. Beneath the surface, cichlid fish dart among submerged roots, feeding on algae and insects, their colours flashing in the dappled light. A crocodile lies motionless, barely distinguishable from a floating log, its nostrils just above the waterline, a patient monarch awaiting opportunity. Dragonflies skim the water's edge, their iridescent wings slicing through the morning mist. In the reeds, a family of hippos surfaces, nostrils flaring as they greet the dawn. Their massive bodies create ripples that radiate outward, disturbing a flock of sandpipers probing for crustaceans along the mudflats. The camera dives below, revealing a hidden world. Tadpoles wriggling in the shallows, freshwater snails inching along the silt, and tiny aquatic insects weaving through stems. As the midday heat builds, the waterhole contracts, its edges muddied by the trampling of countless hooves. Elephants arrive in stately procession, their trunks unfurling to drink, to bathe, and to anoint their skin with cooling mud. The camera lingers on a calf, splashing playfully, droplets sparkling in the sun. Buffalo wallow nearby, their massive forms caked in protective layers of clay, while terrapins bask on exposed rocks. Overhead, the air shimmers as bee-eaters swoop in pursuit of insects, stirred by the commotion below. A pied kingfisher hovers, then plunges, emerging with a wriggling fish. The interconnectedness is palpable, predators and prey, herbivores and carnivores, all bound by the water's pulse. As dusk returns, the waterhole transforms once again. Crested francolins scurry to drink before darkness falls. Bats emerge, skimming the surface for a final sip. The chorus of frogs rises, punctuated by the distant roar of a lion, drawn by the promise of prey, compelled to risk everything for a single drink. Through drought and deluge, the water's edge is a crucible of survival, shaping migrations, dictating territories, and nurturing the extraordinary diversity of the Savannah. Here, life and death flow together in a perpetual silent command, one that echoes through every heartbeat, every fluttering wing, and every ripple on the surface. As the moon climbs high, the camera pulls back, revealing the waterhole aglow beneath the stars, a shimmering heart at the centre of the Savannah, sustaining the wild tapestry that depends on its gifts. As the Savannah sun crests the horizon, a silent contest unfolds, a contest as ancient as life itself. Here, every hoofbeat and heartbeat is shaped by the relentless push and pull between hunter and hunted. This is evolution's arms race, where adaptation is the only currency, and survival demands constant innovation. The camera sweeps low over golden grasses, catching a fleeting glimpse of a Thompson's gazelle, muscles taut, ears flicking, nostrils flaring for the scent of danger. Just beyond, a cheetah crouches, its spotted coat a masterwork of camouflage. Every sinew is honed for acceleration, every tendon stretched for the explosive burst that makes it the fastest land animal on Earth. The chase erupts, gazelle and cheetah locked in a ballet of speed and strategy. The gazelle zigzags, its slender legs springing unpredictably, a living testament to generations of natural selection. The cheetah counters, feinting, adjusting, burning precious energy in seconds that decide the fate of both predator and prey. The lens captures the moment of truth, a near miss, the gazelle vanishing into dense brush, the cheetah left panting, its evolutionary edge tested and challenged. Elsewhere, a pride of lions stalks a herd of wary buffalo. The camera lingers on the lead lioness, muscles rippling beneath tawny fur. Her golden eyes lock on a limping calf, but the herd senses danger. Massive bulls form a living wall, horns lowered, ready to defend. The The lions circle, searching for weakness, but the buffalo stand firm, their unity forged by millennia of predation. The standoff ends with a sudden charge, lions scattering as the herd thunders forward, a display of collective defence born from countless encounters. Above, a martial eagle soars, its shadow flickering over the grass. The lens tightens on its gaze, scanning for movement. Below, a scrub hare freezes, perfectly still, its mottled pelt blending seamlessly into the earth. The eagle dives, but the hare bolts at the last instant, vanishing into a maze of burrows, a master of camouflage and escape. In the undergrowth, a boomslang snake glides through branches, its scales shimmering in the dappled light. It hunts weaver bird nests, but the birds have evolved their own defences, nests suspended at the tips of thorny acacia branches, swaying out of reach of most predators. The snake coils, reaching, but the birds mob it, shrieking and pecking until it retreats in defeat. Every interaction is a contest of innovation. Speed against agility, stealth against vigilance, weapon against armour. Horns curve sharper, coats blend deeper, senses sharpen, and strategies evolve. The camera cuts to a close-up of a dung beetle rolling its prize, oblivious to the drama above, yet itself locked in a constant struggle against ants and rival beetles. As twilight descends, the Savannah quiets, but the arms race never ends. Each victory reshapes the battlefield, each loss fuels the next adaptation. Here, predator and prey are bound by a single, unbreakable law: evolve or be left behind. The relentless chase continues, written in every track, every scar, every wary glance, a living testament to the power and beauty of evolution at work. The Savannah, ancient and sprawling, is shaped not only by the creatures that roam its golden plains, but by forces vast and unseen, the shifting rhythms of the climate itself. As the camera glides over endless grasslands, subtle changes ripple across the landscape. A haze of dust hangs where once the air was clear, and the horizon shimmers with the heat of a lengthening dry season. A lone acacia tree stands silhouetted against a sky heavy with promise, yet the rains arrive late, their rhythm broken. The camera zooms in on a cluster of wildebeest, their coats dulled by thirst. They gather at the shrinking edge of a waterhole, cracked mud radiating outward like the veins of a parched earth. Insects swarm in frantic clouds, termites and locusts, thriving in the altered heat, their numbers swelling with each passing year. Elsewhere, a herd of elephants trudges across the brittle grass matriarch, leading her family to a distant river that has narrowed to a trickle. The lens lingers on her weathered skin, etched with lines that tell the story of many seasons, her trunk testing the air for the scent of rain that does not come. Calves stumble, their footsteps raising dust instead of mud. Beneath the canopy of a shrinking forest patch, a troop of vervet monkeys forages in silence. The fruits they seek are fewer, the leaves tougher and tinged with yellow. The monkeys' movements are cautious, their eyes scanning for predators forced to range further by hunger, the delicate balance of the food web stretched thin. The camera then soars above a riverbed transformed to a scar of white sand, revealing crocodiles clustered in narrow pools. Fish flounder in shallow water, and storks pick among stranded catfish, each species adapting or fading as the boundaries of survival are redrawn by drought and flood. Grassfires ignite more frequently, their orange tongues licking across the plains, consuming young shoots before they can take root. Yet, in the aftermath, green blades emerge with the first precious drops of rain, a fragile renewal that grows ever more uncertain. Through time-lapse, The savanna pulses between extremes, lush and verdant after a rare deluge, then brittle and grey beneath relentless sun. The camera closes on a zebra foal, its stripes stark against the pale grass eyes wide as a distant thunderhead gathers. The future for all who dwell here is written in the shifting skies. No human hand appears in this story. The savanna's fate is shaped by the invisible hand of climate, its challenges met with resilience, ingenuity, and adaptation. Yet every creature is now a pioneer on an unfamiliar frontier, navigating a world where the rules are changing faster than ever before. Across the golden expanse of the savanna, a quiet partnership unfolds, one that is as old as the plains themselves. Here, the destinies of birds and large mammals are woven together in a tapestry of mutual benefit, each species thriving through subtle acts of cooperation. The camera glides low over a herd of Cape buffalo, their massive forms casting elongated shadows on the sunlit grass. Perched atop their broad backs, a flock of red-billed oxpeckers surveys the horizon, their sharp eyes alert for danger and for a meal. Close-up shots reveal oxpeckers delicately probing the buffalo's thick hide, extracting ticks, biting flies and other parasites. The mammals, in turn, stand calmly, flinching only slightly as the birds work, relief flickering in the twitch of an ear or the soft swish of a tail. Cut to a solitary giraffe, neck arched high among the acacia canopy. At its knees, a pair of cattle egrets struts purposefully, snapping up insects disturbed by each ponderous step. The camera captures the interplay. A giraffe pauses to nibble at tender leaves, and the egrets dart forward, feasting on grasshoppers and beetles, fleeing the rustling foliage. Above, a fork-tailed drongo hovers, its keen gaze tracking the movements of both insect and mammal, ready to snatch an easy meal. A sequence of slow-motion shots reveals the vigilance of these avian allies. At the slightest hint of movement, a lion's tail flickering in the tall grass, a cheetah's silhouette melting into shadow, the oxpeckers erupt in a chorus of warning calls. The buffalo tense, heads lifting in unison, and the herd shifts direction, guided by the early alarm. The camera lingers on the intricate communication, a language of glances, postures, and urgent cries that traverses the divide between wing and hoof. Elsewhere, a rhinoceros rumbles through a dust bath, its back crowded with starlings. The birds fan their wings, flicking away insects and gleaning the bounty churned up by the rhino's powerful movements. In the foreground, a close-up captures the iridescent shimmer of a starling's feathers, a flash of colour against the rhino's armoured grey. As dusk settles, the savanna's alliances persist. Against a backdrop of golden light, zebras graze in the company of glossy ibis, their tranquil coexistence a testament to the subtle bonds that sustain life here. The birds move with the herds, their presence a promise of vigilance and a shared defence against the ever-present threat of predators. From the smallest oxpecker to the mightiest elephant, the savanna's inhabitants are bound by invisible threads of interdependence. In this world of scarcity and challenge, cooperation is as essential as strength. And in the hush between predator and prey, the wings of alliance beat steadily, an ancient pact, renewed with every rising sun.